Hello, 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 everybody, Facebookers, YouTubers, and friends and family and everybody. It's a pretty nice Sunday afternoon here at Mike's Magic Auto Detailing and Paint Enhancement here in Sharpsburg, Georgia. This is Mike. Hi again, everybody. Oh boy, we've been working on this current project, which took the place of the blue Mercedes. This is a white Mercedes SUV, if you watched our previous video. Oh boy, been a lot of tedious work. I would have to say, even though this is a very, very nice vehicle, some of the materials are not as high a quality as the blue 2018 Mercedes that we did. But anyway, that's the way it goes. A lot of tedious work on this one thus far. What we have done is we have strip washed it. Yeah, did the contact wash, the decon. We clay barred it. I say we, myself and Angela, who has headed back to her mom's for now. So I'm left by myself. That's okay, that's okay. We did all that prep work, and then yesterday we started the buffing process. We did the hood, there's the hood. We did the roof. Came out very nice. Okay, you guys asked for it. Here it is, here it is, here it is, here it is. There's my magnet business card. Yeah, even though there's no protection on this paint, all we've done is buff it with a non-wax protectant. Yeah, it's not gonna stick. I'll show you. See, it won't stick. And here we go with our bottle test. Y'all know the commercial. Well, I just finished putting this and that and the other on my car, and this bottle just slides right off. See? Slides right off of this one too, though there's nothing on the paint. Nothing. Nothing, nothing, nothing. But one thing I did want to review for all you folks who are curious, and maybe, hopefully, the owner of the vehicle is watching now or may watch later. Hey, y'all give me a comment down there. Let me know you're here. Tell me where you're watching from. If you got a question, ask it. I'll answer it. But to me, even though this right here turned out very, very glossy so far, it'll get better yet, folks. To me, this panel right here is not quite as glossy as that is, which I will fix here directly with my smaller buffer, because she was using the 5-inch and with the DA, and I don't think it wanted to rotate enough on this short panel, which is also a curve. So I'll go back and work on that again and on the other side and fix that. When I buffed the roof yesterday, there's a glass sunroof up there. Not sure if y'all can see that. Oh yeah, there it is. That's been polished. All the glass all the way around has been polished, except for the windshield, which I will get that here shortly. The headlights and the taillights have been polished. All down this side has been polished, including the mirror, everything. Oh me, I'm gonna come back to that thing down there. I spent all morning long, folks, polishing on this rear end. Like I said, the glass had already been polished, but getting out the little buffers so I could get this little space right here, which is not very wide, as you can see, and it gets real tight right up in here, so you had to break out the little bitty buffer, or the nano polisher as I call it, and also to get this third brake light up in here. Got all that. Got down in here, got in between all these little spaces on these letters, which is some tedious work. In this emblem here, that's tedious, getting all that in there and then polishing it up. All the way over here to get the tail lights. Oh, there was some nastiness up in this crack here that took some work to get out, and there was some discoloration on top of this chrome piece here, and got all that out, polished that piece of chrome, polished all up in here where the license plate goes down there. And some of you may recall, I know our owner does, this bumper down here, that step thing, whatever you want to call it, it was pretty nasty and scratched up. It's still scratched some because this is plastic chrome, folks, so you have to be careful with that. There was a lot of discoloration right up next to these ridges. This is a raised thing, so it took a lot of work to get in all those little ridges down in these cracks, but it cleaned up pretty nicely. It just took a lot of time, that's all. Got in those little raised areas and indentations where those tail lights are. I got down here, got this chrome here, got the exhaust tips, and I had to lay on the floor and get up under there. This chrome piece goes up under the car as well. Got all up under there, cleaned up that plastic trim as best I could, which I will be going back to that later. But I don't know, somebody had buffed that. It's a kind of a pebbly finish. You can't really buff that with a regular buffer. It leaves buffer trails and wax residue, which are very difficult to remove. I've removed a lot of it with Optimum Paint Prep, which is a wax and grease remover, but it's a non-solvent based. But I will go back again. I may end up having to hit that with some solution finish. I'm just not sure yet, but it was tedious work. Like I say, it took me all morning long just to do the back end. So, but we've got this whole passenger side done. But another thing I want to point out, and I'm kind of disappointed in Mercedes, this trim here, it's not chrome, people. I believe, at first I thought that might be T-Bright aluminum, but I think it may be just anodized aluminum, and I'm not sure what has caused this exactly, this milky color to it. It's just, it looks like dried soap and other contaminants that have got on here. The soap wasn't rinsed properly, and there was little to no protection put on here. That's what causes that. I haven't tried polishing that yet, but I will. And the next thing I want to point out is these pillar posts. And see, this here is plastic, folks. And we've talked about this several times. This stuff is cheap. And the paint is cheap. And it's got a little bit of clear coat on it, but it scratches very easily. And I think you get up here close, you can see the scratches. Haven't worked with those at all yet. And particularly these wide pillar posts is what I wanted to point out to you guys. Look how scratched up they are. All right, that is not from me, folks. See, those scratches are kind of horizontal, and so that makes me suspect that either the brushes from a commercial car wash or tunnel wash, as we call it, on the sides, they generally rotate this way, and that's where those scratches come from, is from those dirty brushes. And then the paint gets down in the little scratch, the soap gets down into those little micro scratches in the surface of the clear coat and dries there, and the next thing you know, it's very difficult to remove. But I'll come back later after I work on these some and see if we can't spiff those up a great deal like we did on Miss Cynthia's vehicle. It was a Ford, but it's pretty much the same quality. So we'll see if we can't spiff those up a little bit. And the other thing I wanted to touch on is these things down here. Boy, Mercedes, you really disappoint me, folks. There again, this is a cheap aluminum. You can see the discoloration there. And these are little pieces of plastic, but you can see all the crap that's accumulated around those. And you can see a spot right here, Mrs. West, where I did experiment just very briefly with my little buffer and some lighter polish just to see. And you know what, it cleaned it up a little bit. You can see the difference there and there, but to me this is still not acceptable, and I'm scratching my head over how I'm going to attack this next. Like I say, that's a real thin, cheap aluminum. I'm not sure how I'm going to do that, but we are going to give it a shot. This is one's on the passenger side, one on the driver's side. It's pretty much the same shape. Pretty much the same shape. So yeah, I'll get around to that, Miss West. See what we can do. I know your husband was concerned about it, Mr. Mike. I don't remember you saying anything. I have not polished the front end yet. I think that'll be next, and I'll just kind of work my way around, then go down the driver's side, hopefully get most of that, if not all of that, done this afternoon, and then get back on seeing what I can do about some of this trim stuff and make sure I've got all that spiffy all the way around the trim down there on those, and hopefully try to spiff up the trim around the windows as well, at least make them look presentable. When my girlfriend Angela first got here the other day, she walked in the garage and she said she looked down and she's like, what is that? She couldn't believe it was a Mercedes, and they put stuff like that on there. But she drives a Nissan and her stuff is better quality, at least down there. She was very shocked. That's the first thing she noticed about this car. Oh boy. But you know, even though this looks pretty good on the driver's side, folks, this is what, you know, it looks way better than it did when it got here, way better. This is simply what a good proper strip wash and decontaminating the paint, which is a way of melting all the brake dust and metal contaminants off the paint, and a foam, good foaming and all that stuff, and then a clay barring will improve your paint dramatically. And you know, this hasn't been buffed yet, but it still looks pretty good. And you know, most people would say, hey, that's good enough, you know, but that's most of what we don't do too much of that here. See, like here's an example of some kind of stuff there. It almost seems like some kind of adhesive or something, but hopefully that'll clean off. There was some on the other side. I managed to get it off, and there's a few spots on the other side. If I get in close here, you can see that black right there. I believe what that is adhesive from up under here that squeezed its way out, and it's probably clear when it dried, or almost dried. You couldn't see it, but over time in the bright hot sunlight it softened up and it picked up all that dirt and grime in there. And trust me, no amount of scrubbing with brushes and all kind of solvents and cleaners got that off or out of there. I'm not sure it will, being it's adhesive. But you know what, I may try a little bit of 3M adhesive remover and a brush, a detailing brush, to see if we can get rid of some of that, because that bugs me. And like I said, we'll see if we can't brighten up this trim a little bit. I'm not sure how much I'm going to be able to do with that, but I should be able to improve it to some degree. But I doubt if I'm going to be able to bring it back to like factory condition without actually removing it from the vehicle and putting it on the polishing wheel on my bench over there. You can see this is just some splatter where I was polishing the windows, the window glass polish. But you know, these are scratched as well. Although I don't think these are as bad as the ones on the other side. But they're scratched. I can't get it to really show up too good in this lighting here. The better light over there. But anyway, so just wanted to catch you guys up. I'm going to try to clean up all this rubber stuff here. Some of that's just sling from the buffer where I polished the glass. Slung off stuff. You have to be very careful when you're buffing the glass, folks, because you don't want the buffer to hit this rubber seal here. It'll mar it, and you'll be able to see the buffer trails, and you get residue on there that can sometimes be difficult to get off. Say, for example, this residue is not left by me, nor that was left by a previous detailer, and I was able to get some of that off, but not all of it. We've got a lot of discoloration up on these window sills here, all on both sides. You can see where it's kind of pitted and stuff on the surface. I'll try to clean that. It's already been cleaned with citral degreaser and brushed and all that kind of stuff, and it came some clean, but not much. I don't know if I can do much about that, but we'll give that a shot as well and see how good we can improve it. The vent cowl is not in too bad a shape, so I cleaned that very thoroughly when we were doing our contact wash on the car. These vents have been cleaned very thoroughly, and I'll be spiffing them up a little bit more. Cleaned the windshield wipers and cleaned the blades, Miss West. You clean your windshield wiper blades, which almost nobody ever does, they will last much longer and work way better, and you will reduce the risk, as if you get a big hard grain of dirt here and it drags across the windshield, you'll get scratches in this glass sometimes, and on a lot of older cars you will see that semicircular pattern of scratching on there. That's from dirty or old windshield wiper blades. That's what causes that. Oh boy. Alright, just wanted to catch y'all up right quick like. Because I'm going to get back to work now. I still got a lot of work cut out for me here, Mrs. West, trying to make this thing look spiffy. Trying to make it look better than the day you picked it up. If that's possible. If it is possible, I will get it done. No question about it. So if you guys are watching on YouTube, hit that subscribe button for me, and it'll notify you of new videos coming out on this project and others as well as I move along with this, and it'll help me out. Give me a thumbs up, give me a thumbs down. They say it really don't matter. Make a comment. They say those help me out a lot too. But anyway, I'll let you folks get back to your Super Sunday, and I'll get back to work. Thank you for watching. Thank you very much. I appreciate everybody. Bye.